So, welcome back, everybody. I have a world-renowned sports personality with me, TV personality. She's worked in Sky Sports. She's worked with The Wisden, Guardian, Independent, you name it, and currently with ESPN Cricinfo.
Oh no, I'm freelance now.
Now she's freelance, so
Yeah,
she's doing everything.
Everything.
And she's here for the World Cup, covering the Australian team. Welcome to India, first of all.
Shukriya.
Oh, she knows it. She knows everything. So, Melinda, first of all, just wanted to get your quick thoughts on India, how the vibe is for the World Cup. What are you expecting going into this World Cup?
Well, look, so I think it's been difficult because everything was planned so late. So I haven't seen as many travelling fans from other countries as I perhaps
Usually
thought we
do,
might
yeah.
see. Yeah. So that I think it's a bit sad that we haven't got more, but.
True.
You can't expect not everybody can just drop everything
Yeah,
and travel to another country. So that's something I did notice. But you know, it's for me, it's exciting to be back here because I haven't been in India since before the pandemic.
Yeah.
So on a personal level, it's great because I love traveling around
Yeah.
India, and it's been interesting. You know, we haven't had any close games yet so
not
far.
yet, yeah.
But we've had some
Upsets, some upsets,
well,
Netherlands and
sort of upsets, but in a 10-team World Cup,
Yeah.
everybody's earned the right to be here.
100%.
So we shouldn't be shocked.
like Pat said today, 10 strong teams.
Exactly. Yeah, we shouldn't be shocked at Afghanistan winning.
Yeah, 100%.
We shouldn't be shocked at Netherlands beating South Africa again.
Yeah, again,
in the tournament.
to send the 50 over format. That was something splendid to see.
Yeah, it was.
Talk to me about your team, Australia.
They're not my team.
well-
I'm a citizen of the world.
Well, what like you are covering them right now, so we just
Yes.
pick
Okay.
Australia of the past. We've seen Ricky Ponting, we've seen Shane Warne, rest in peace. We've seen Adam, these aggressive-natured Australian cricketers, and now move to Pat Cummins' comments against the India press conference saying it's all right if we lose. Do you think there's like a temperamental shift from the past Australia to now that we see?
I mean, I think it shifts for every team as they
True.
go through stages.
think
And
so,
India
yeah.
is a different team now than it
Yeah,
was back
100%, yes.
right? So, so it changes under not just every captain, but I think generation it does as well.
Yeah.
Again, on a personal level, I mean, I really like this Australian team.
Yeah.
I think there's, I guess, human beings. I think there's an awful lot to like about them.
Yeah.
I don't think. I think you can be a good person and a good cricketer.
Yeah,
It's just that this perception of Australia being a certain type of
Aggressive, yeah.
yes, and being a nice person doesn't mean you're not aggressive on the field either. I mean,
100%. Yeah.
New Zealand, we talk about them being the nice guys all
Yeah.
the time, and look at the way they perform in these
Yeah,
World
I
Cups.
think that's right. 100%.
Yeah, so it's different. That particular Australian team was like an all-time great team, right? It's one of the best teams
They
to
just
have ever
swooped
played.
everything. They took everything.
And so it's almost unfair. It's like comparing every West Indies team to the West Indies of the 70s and 80s. It
Yeah.
almost becomes a
Yeah,
bit
unfair.
unfair.
Yeah.
Like, you get these amazing teams of their time. Australia is still an incredibly good team, and they're held to such high standards.
Yeah.
Anything less than a semi-final appearance at a world tournament is always going to be seen as a failure for Australia,
Yeah.
and that's because they just
The
produce
standard.
very good
Yeah.
cricketers.
And the standard that they set, like you mentioned, and on the grounds of good human being, we met Pat Cummins today in the press conference. Fantastic guy. You get this positive vibe. He doesn't indulge in any drama and stuff. About Pat Cummins, firstly, your thoughts on his captaincy, and secondly, the shaky start that Australia had. Do you see them still in the top 4 of this World Cup?
So I did at the start. I genuinely think at this point now, I think one of Australia or England, it would not surprise me if one of those two is eliminated. And I don't
That's
know
a
who yet.
big call, yeah.
Well, that game they play, depending on what happens this week, because this is a huge week in the tournament.
100%.
If they're both still in the mix when they play each other in Ahmedabad, that could be a knockout. That game.
100%.
So I think one of them might miss out. Australia are very good at tournament play, just knowing what they have to do to get over the line each
Yeah.
time and
Yeah.
not getting frazzled by the occasion.
Yeah.
That is a huge advantage for them. And I think they'll be stronger with Travis Head.
Yeah,
when he
100%. He's on a
arrives.
flight, is what
He's on a
Pat told
flight,
us today.
yeah.
About the spinners, because we know India traditionally the pitch is turned. Zampa has a back spasm, as we heard. He's recovering. No Ashton Agar. There was a message from a certain Nathan Lyon
Yeah.
but it wasn't received or it wasn't like responded to. So
Well, he's coming off a big injury as
Yeah,
well. He's
100.
coming back. from
Yeah,
it.
after the WTC,
Yeah.
we saw what happened to him, but kudos to him as well. Like he managed to bat through that injury. But do you think another spinner would sort of be a good way for Australia to have gone about?
Yeah, I thought it was I was a bit surprised that they ended up essentially replacing Ashton Agar with Marnus Labuschagne.
Yeah,
Just because of what you get with Marnus Labuschagne is similar to what you get with a couple of others like Steve Smith.
yeah,
obviously.
100%. Bathing depth and a little bit of bowling.
Yeah, Ashton Agar obviously offers you some variation in your spin as
exactly.
well.
Yes.
Having said that, Glenn Maxwell has bowled well for them generally.
Yeah. And he knows this wicket like
He
the back of
does.
his hand.
Yeah.
RCB.
So yeah, that's right. He's good. So it's just an interesting. You haven't sort of felt like Australia coming into this tournament. Did they know what their best ODI team
Yeah.
was? Kind of felt like they didn't know that. The other thing with Australia, although Pat played this down in the press conference, you might have heard me asking about this. They've looked tired to me. And you've got the nucleus of that attack, that Cummins, Hazelwood, Stark, across every format.
100% I agree
And
with this.
how often can you go to that well before it runs dry?
The only thing to that is like they have Sean Abbott, and he's not been in the best of form. We saw him in the warm-up game. Then they've got Lance, a youngster, a fast bowler, not able to get to it. So I think the expectation will always still be with the old guard.
Yeah, but where do they go from there? That's
The future.
thing,
This is
because-
what. Yeah.
Yeah, they relied, and when Cameron Green has looked cooked. He's just looked cooked, right? He's had what he's done in the past year. It's not surprising. And despite what Pat has said, at times that it just looks like they've just got so much in the legs that they can lose you can lose your potency a bit, can't you?
Yeah, and you mentioned 100 days is what an average cricketer plays, but again with this domestic leagues, the IPL, the PSL.
Well, Cameron Green is
Yeah,
a case in point for that,
Exactly.
especially for still quite a green player in more ways than one. See what I did there?
Yeah. Speaking of green, like what I'm doing here, what about the team in green tomorrow? What are you going to expect from them? Who's on your watch list?
Wow, Shaheen Shafri is always on my watch list, just when it comes to the first 2 overs. His record for getting a wicket in the first or the second over that he bowls is just insane. And what I love about it is it builds this massive anticipation when at the start of the opposition innings, right? Because you're just waiting
Yeah,
to
100%.
see him do it. But he hasn't been getting the wickets in this tournament. So maybe this is the one where he lifts. I don't know. I think Australia should win this tomorrow. That's my feeling. I think they're favourites for this particular match. And just Bubba's got that 100, that half
50,
century. But again, you haven't seen him dominate this tournament like you might. Pakistan fans would have liked to have seen
100%,
him. So it'll be interesting to see how they go against Australia. But I just feel like Australia, now they've got a win under their belt, knowing what they have to do, might have sharpened their focus a little bit, having lost early in the tournament.
Speaking of like the batting perspective from Australia, Steve Smith, we know how he's dominated in India over the years. Warner, now sort of they're again towards the old guard. So where do we see Australia go? Because we're seeing them, sort of getting out quickly, collapsing. So how important or pivotal is the role of Steve Smith and Warner in this current squad?
Yeah, well, Steve Smith, again, a bit like Labuschagne, right? And
Exactly.
Labuschagne's been the one to hang around. Although Labuschagne has been more aggressive and has scored at a higher strike rate since he came back into the one-day side in those games they played before this tournament started. Warner, this is probably his swan song, right? We know he's retiring from Test cricket.
Yeah, and he's doing everything, bowling, he's dancing in the field in Hyderabad.
Well, he always does that. He knows how to work a crowd, particularly in this country. But again, Mitch Marsh, his resurgence and growth, the way he's come back, I think has been fantastic. And I think he could be really key. I'd actually love to see, for Australia, for their prospects, it'd be good to see Travis Head and Mitchell Marsh in the same lineup.
Yeah.
I don't mind seeing that at all.
That would be
So
good.
when Travis Head is back and having them both in there, being able to just up that run rate, be as aggressive as they want to with Warner up the top as well. I think that that's good. And then you've got that role in the middle Do they always need Marnus and Steve Smith in
Yeah.
there? I don't know if they always do.
Yeah, I think
But they-
like
they
somewhere
always
down the
try.
line it lowers the run rate in the middle overs, and then you don't have that. Then you have pressure from Maxwell to perform. So I think that's where they're getting a little bamboozled. But going into tomorrow's tomorrow's game, it's the momentum break or make. So I think if Pakistan wins, it'll take them heavily down that semi-final spot. While first if Australia win again, they'll come back to their winning ways. I know against Sri Lanka they won, but just going forward maybe. So tomorrow your fantasy picks, if you had to pick two aside, a bowler or batsman from Australia and a bowler and batsman from Pakistan.
Well, I probably would say key is that Shaheen Shafri, if he
Shaheen.
can come back and bowl the way he does early on,
100%.
make those inroads in that power play at
play,
least.
yeah.
Certainly, even in those first few overs,
Yeah.
that could be really important. And I think this is a big moment for Baba. It's
Oh,
probably
it is
a
the biggest
cliche,
thing.
right? to
There's a
say
press
Baba,
conference
but-
at 6 o'clock. I think there's going to be guns fired at him with all the questions with him.
Yeah, but so for Australia, well, look, I'd say Maxwell.
Maxwell, yeah.
Looking
We
out
saw
for
the reverse
Maxwell.
sweeps he was practicing.
Yeah, Maxwell definitely here. I could almost say him as batter and bowler. Perhaps.
That's good. Yeah.
Why not?
One-
Let's put a roll on
Yeah,
Maxi.
1 ball, 2 wickets.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how Melinda does it. So, Melinda, thank you so much. Last question. Your top 4 for this World Cup 2023.
See, well, this is right. So at the start of the World Cup, I was asked this, and I said India, New Zealand, Australia, and England.
Uh-huh.
Now, I do think it will be India,
India,
New Zealand,
New Zealand,
South Africa,
South Africa.
and either Australia or England. I
So
can't
either between the
split
ashes. Either between the ashes. Melinda, was fantastic talking to you. Thank you so much for taking out time. I know she had to run, but she still managed to give us the time. She is going to be traveling a lot with the Australian team.
Oh,
She's
not
going
just
to-
Australia,
and-
hey, and other teams.
Sorry.
I'll be here for
She's
England
going to
and
be
Sri
here for
Lanka as well.
England and Sri Lanka. You're going to Chennai as well?
No, and I've never been to Chennai.
There's a Pakistan-Afghanistan game that will be good to see.
Oh, will
A
be
lot
good.
of action there.
It's too expensive to fly around.
Trust
This
me.
is too big,
We're
this
going
country.
through buses, we're going through autos, we're going through everything. So yeah, I mean travel has been a bit expensive, but for the love of the game, we've got to make some kind of adjustments. But thank you so much. I can't thank you enough for your time today.
Ah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Shukriya, Dhanyavad.
Shukriya, Dhanyavad.
Dhanyavad, everything. Thank
you so much.